Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the lounge. Glad to be here once again. And on this podcast, I wanted to talk about something a little bit different. I wanted to go more into the career field of what I'm actually studying for right now, and that is CRIM, also known as criminal justice. And what I wanted to talk about today is something that, um, I've thought a lot about. I've read a lot of materials on. I've learned about it, studied, all different areas on this topic, and that is being able to separate your job from creating a friendship. I think that no matter what field you work in under the criminal justice area, no matter where it is, whether you're a police officer or if you are a probation officer or if you are a parole officer or work inside a prison as a security guard or work inside of jails as a security guard, I think one of the things that some, not all, face trouble with is being able to not create an actual friendship with those that are serving time. Not to say that they get out of jail, that maybe for some reason or another you would not become a friend with someone that was in jail or that, did serve time for a crime that they had committed. If I look at things from my view, and to be a probation officer, I think that you do have to create a relationship. But we also have to remember that we have a job to do. I think sometimes the job is taken more serious as far as, so to speak, some would say, well, an officer, when they wear the badge speaks for them. It's not just officers that can go through that. It can be a parole officer, probation officer, a lot of different ways that can fit in with people. To me, as a probation officer, it is important to help your probationer get back on track with their life. Help them see what they can be and what they can do. The things that they can do that are right instead of the things that they did that was wrong. And I don't think that that's just because you're creating a friendship. It's also a part of doing your job. I mean, as much as I could say, hey, I'm friends with that guy. He's a good guy. I see him once a month, and someone said, well, would you say it's your best friend? No. I think we have to be able to equal that out, to even it out and make it a 50-50 thing. Would I care about the probationers? Absolutely. I care about what they do and where they go, because that's also part of the job, But I'm not going to make it so serious to where I say, well, I'm only doing this because this is my job. So I'm just going to be strict. I'm going to go straight by the book and not give a damn what he or she says or what he or she goes through. Yes, I'm going to go by the book. I'm going to go by what the rules are that I have to follow as a probation officer. But I'm also going to find a way to work that in with helping him or her get back on track with their life the right way. So if you're going, in college for criminal justice and you plan on becoming a probation officer or a police officer or a parole officer, one of the things that I think you have to always think about and at some point begin to work on is being able to create a relationship, but not let a friendship get in the way of you doing your job. Because I think if you say, well, that's my best friend, and, they do something wrong, and you got to end up, revoking their probation, you're going to feel bad about it, and you're like, oh, no, that's my friend, I can't do that. Then that's going to risk you losing your job. But I think you can care about someone. You don't have to be their best friend to care about someone. It's no different than seeing something horrible happen to someone that you don't even know, or maybe you know them but not that much. You care about what happens to them and, what they went through. I think the only way that you could sit back and say you don't care about anybody, I think that would be unhuman-like. Even though there are people out there that don't care, that could care less what happened to you. I just hope that, this podcast can maybe help you kind of focus on how you are going to, do your job. Like I said, I've been working on this. I've been reading things. I've been studying so that when I do get, fully in the office of wherever it is I might be working, that I'll be ready. I think it's better to be prepared than to not be. And I'm curious to know if anybody else out there might be going through, law school, criminal justice, or anything like that. Maybe you got comments you'd like to add to it. And I'm not going to say that, that I'm perfect, and I'm not going to end up, seeing someone as a friend, because that's a hard thing to do. But, again, we have to remember that I think as a probation officer, you have to, don't go in not caring about what happens to them. And there are probation officers out there that don't care. If you come in and you're doing good, they don't care. If you come in and mess up and they got to strike you out, they don't care. Me, I would hate to have to revoke somebody's probation after working with them. I would hope that at the end of the day, after speaking to each one of my probationers throughout the day, that I've made that connection better. And I think that's another thing. You have to build a trust relationship. You got to show the probationer that they can trust you, and they got to show you that you can trust them. It is a friendship in a way. You are building a relationship and a friendship, but it has to come to that 50-50 line. Do your job, be a friend, but don't let caring get in the way of what you do. I think that sums it up, to be honest. We can care about, a probationer, but if they mess up and they don't do what they're told or what you suggest to them, you've got to do your job. And even though it's going to suck that you have to revoke their probation, sometimes that's just the way it goes. So I hope this is helpful to some out there. This was something that was mentioned to me on how I would handle things. And that's how I would do it. I would build a relationship with my probationers, and I would make sure that even though I'm making this type of friendship, but I also not let that get in the way of doing what's right and doing what's best for him or her. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please be sure to leave your comments, and I'm really excited, going through college. I can tell you that I'm definitely not done with college even after I graduate. I'm going to be going back to get my associates in psychology. I think I do good at speaking and talking, and that might land me in, other places with my career. I don't know. We'll see what happens.